Mira, tráete los de armadores. Vamos a ir a trabajar afuera ahorita.
Welcome to our basement project in Doylestown. We just moved outside. We were working down the basement, doing some of the demolition, removing some walls and all the finishes, and the power went out for the whole neighborhood while we were doing that. So we moved outside. Behind me, we're gonna be taking apart some of the client's deck and creating space to dig in a walkout set of steps. We'll be cutting out the foundation to install a new entry door, and then we're gonna be finishing the entire basement. So a little bit of changing the walls up, but then all new finishes as far as carpet, trim, doors, and then we're adding a bathroom in the space. Okay, we're back at our Doylestown basement project, and we're just gonna be starting digging today. So the first step is they're gonna excavate the hole that the new walkout steps and the door are gonna be in. Then we're gonna form for footings. We have to pause for an inspection at that point, and then after we get our inspection, we'll block up the walls, pour them solid with concrete, and we'll get another inspection before we backfill and waterproof. All right guys, welcome back to our Doylestown basement project. We're ready at this point to cut the doorway. So we're gonna be cutting the opening for the bottom of the walkout steps into the new basement. We're gonna pour a curb to set our door at the right height and have a little bit of a retaining wall for any water that collects and make sure that that makes it to the sump pump. And as soon as we're done that, we're gonna be pouring in the steps. Behind me, we're just getting ready to install the wall caps, the top finish show course that we're gonna be installing the railings to at finish. Inside, the electricians are just finishing up rough electrical. We also just finished up the rough plumbing and poured the concrete patch for the floors. So we have inspections coming up, and then insulation and drywall are next inside. As far as outside, we're rough graded. We're gonna be done for now until we come back and grade and seed and install the railings in the deck. We're back at our Doylestown basement project. We've finished all of our building and mechanical inspections, and now we're gonna be insulating. So insulation is gonna run through today. Those guys will be in and out of here in just a couple hours. Then we'll get our insulation inspection and move on to drywall. Okay, we're done drywall. We did not do any drywall on the ceilings. These ceilings are gonna stay exposed, so we cleaned up a lot of the wiring and a little bit of the piping that was showing below the joist and up inside the joist, and that's all gonna end up getting spray painted black. So it'll have a little bit of that commercial look, but it's gonna be open. They get the full high ceilings, just a different effect. We're at our Doylestown basement project, and at the moment we're just finishing up paint. So the first thing that we did was spray the ceiling joists and the mechanicals in the ceiling with a black. So we're gonna have that industrial look like we had talked about before. And then we covered that all over with light painter's plastic. So as we're moving around and disturbing, residual dust, such as there is, it's not gonna coat the ceiling. So that's all been done. The plastic is up, and now they're currently doing the priming and first coat on the walls. In the bathroom, we're just starting to do the install of the shower prep. So we're gonna be using a Schluter system as we always do. This is a shower pan laid on the slab, and then there's gonna be waterproofing it and putting in the wall system. So that'll be the next 2 days of laying that, installing it, and waterproofing it, and then we're gonna move on to tile. All right, we're back at our Doylestown basement project, and we've completed the initial coat of paints, and we've now moved on to tile. So behind me, we're doing the Schluter system inside the bathroom, created the walls and waterproof that, and now we're starting to lay the tile in the shower. We are also taking an opportunity to do the exterior work while the weather is good, because we have some weather rolling in next week. So we're cutting back the deck, and then we're gonna be refinishing the one side. So we reduced the overall imprint to allow us to put in the walkout walls, and then we're just cutting it back so that it matches the bump out corner, kind of makes more sense, and so that the railing doesn't fall in the middle of the window behind me. So we're doing that today. We're also gonna be capping the basement door, and then we're gonna move inside and finish up some HVAC in the exposed storage space. We also did our final grade and seed. So you can see the hay down the ground. We leveled everything off, pitched the grade away from the house and the new walkout walls, and then we put seed down and hay to keep it down. So that's done from an exterior standpoint. As soon as we're done the deck, we'll be fully completed outside. At this project, the client has their own HVAC installer, so they just got finished adding a couple of supply registers to this area of the basement, which was not conditioned beforehand, and pulling in a return. So that just finished. We did that after drywall because it's all coming from unfinished spaces. And then we also installed all the doors yesterday. So today we'll be installing the remaining trims and some of the door hardware, and then also the countertop and the vanity. Behind me, you can see that Marius finished all the tile install here. In the old space, they already had a existing hopper window in the basement. They wanted to incorporate that into the new shower for ventilation as well. So we ended up replacing that window, and around the inside, we did an AZEK jamb. So that's a waterproof transition here to our Schluter edge, and that'll make sure that any moisture buildup that sits in that sill will drain off and it won't get behind the jam material there. Behind me, they did all the tile. Shower base is done as well. So at this point, we're waiting for shower door install, and then we're gonna move on to finished plumbing. Today we're doing final paint on all the walls. We're doing touch-ups on the ceiling, and we're also doing final electrical and finishing up some trims. Okay, today we are just about finished with the installation of the walkout railings. So this client chose an RDI aluminum railing system that's installed behind me. And yesterday and then just this morning, they finished up the install of the floor. So why don't we go in and take a look. So we installed a glue down LVP product in this project. Originally we were in for a snap and lock LVP, but because the existing slab varies and kind of has a roll effect to it, that was not going to be an option and not something that would last and stand up to traffic. So we switched to an LVP glue down effect. We just started our millwork today as well. So we have our crew on site installing the base trim, and we're also doing a trim around the top to clean up the edge of the top drywall since the ceilings are being left exposed. This morning, our crew came out to install the carpet on the stairs as well. So next step here is going to be installing the railings. We are back at our Doylestown basement project, and we are just about wrapping up. We're in the last week or so of work. We finished all of the rest of the base trims, and we added a trim profile around the top of the room as well to clean up the drywall edge since the ceilings are staying exposed. So today we're doing punch list, and the painters are also doing final paint. We're on site at our Doylestown basement project, and today is the last day that we are here. So this is the final punch list day. We're just touching up a few things. We replaced a couple stair baluster shoes that came in damaged, and we are wrapped up. So just to take you from the beginning of this project, this space was unfinished. We ended up demoing what was here. We took everything down to the slab floor and back to the block walls, and then we framed everything in new steel studs. Drywall, paint throughout. We did trims at the top and the bottom to really transition the walls into the ceilings, because we have exposed ceilings and they're painted black. On the floor, we ended up going with a glue down LVP because the customer's existing basement floor had a bit of a wave to it, and it was too much to support a normal click and lock LVP. We did new doors to seal off the mechanical spaces and redesign the space, and then we added a bathroom on the end. They had an existing ejector pump for a future bathroom install, so we were able to use that location. Framed in a bathroom, added vanities, fixtures, we added a shower, and we incorporated their existing window. We turned it into a new hopper window, so we can vent the shower that way as well as the exhaust fan if they so choose. And then final accessories, final hardware, and like I said, paint, and we're done. For us, this was a 9-week project, including the exterior walkout and allowing for the delay in getting the new flooring in of about a week or two. And that's it for this one. We're on to the next project.